Procrastination isn't a time management problem. It's an identity crisis. Most men don't realize they're stuck because they can explain it all away. You're between opportunities, or building your side hustle, or just getting established. You hit the gym to feel like you're doing something right, but under the surface, nothing moves. Projects stall, vision fades, days blur. Here's the truth: you're not lazy. You're running on old code. Outdated instructions that were installed long before you could choose who you wanted to be. You were taught that doing something imperfectly wasn't worth doing at all, that failure meant shame, that effort without reward made you look stupid, that asking for help was weak. And now, every time you try to move forward, that code fights back. It whispers, "Not today. You're not ready. What's the point?" You call it procrastination, but it's really self-sabotage disguised as preparation. And until you confront it, it will keep stealing every version of the life you could have lived. We're going to locate the code, extract the lie, and show you exactly how to rewrite the operating system you've been stuck in your entire adult life. They told you procrastination was a weakness, a character defect. So what did you do? You tried to fix yourself. You downloaded the productivity apps, made to-do lists, set alarms, watched content at 2 a.m. about how to stop procrastinating. You punished yourself with guilt and shame, assuming that if you just tried harder, something would change. But nothing changed. That's because you weren't lazy. You were lied to. The lie whispers, "Trying harder gets things done." That story sells. It sounds like truth. It's not. It's the shadows enticing you to expend energy with no gain. The deeper truth? Discipline is useless when your identity is based on old code. You can't build momentum when you don't believe you're allowed to have it. You can't outwork old programming that whispers, "You're not good enough. You'll never finish. Why even try?" That inner voice isn't yours. It was installed. It was installed through every time effort wasn't enough. Every time curiosity was met with dismissal. Every time you learned that being seen trying and failing was worse than not trying at all. This is the software running your life, and it wasn't designed to help you win. You're not struggling with motivation. You're at war with a survival mechanism that sees progress as a threat. You're not sabotaging success because you're weak. You're doing it because success threatens the identity you've been trained to survive inside. And survival always wins over success. The lie says, perfection before progress. Reality says, perfection is a myth. Progress is the goal. The old code has been running your life without permission. Exposing it is the key to rewriting it. Procrastination didn't come to you naturally. It was taught. Piece by piece, your identity was shaped, not by truth, but by survival. The old code kept you safe when you were young. It protected you from rejection, from looking foolish, from trying and failing in front of people who would punish you for it. So your nervous system adapted. It wrote silent code. Don't try too hard. Get the work done at the last second. Sloppy work can be blamed on little time. Only try if you're sure you'll win. Better to do nothing than to do it wrong. This code didn't make you weak. It acted as a shield. It helped you navigate a life of less pain, less disappointment, less risk. But it didn't help you grow. It kept you in a loop, safe, invisible, small. And now you're wondering why you can't get things done. When you start a new project, the old code runs. What if you don't get it right? You'll fail. You're not ready. Better wait. It feels like laziness, like a lack of reward despite the effort. But it's not. It's defense. It's your nervous system confusing progress with danger. Because progress means change. And change means exposure, visibility, risk, vulnerability. And this is where most men get stuck. You're not just dealing with tasks, you're dealing with emotional tripwires buried in your operating system. You say, "I want to start." The code says, "Not safe." You say, "I'll finish this time." The code says, "You'll be hurt when you fail." The old code is not you, not your thoughts, not your destiny. What was installed can be extracted, rewritten, replaced. But first, you must accept reality. Mistaking your programming for your personality will result in the same endless cycle of temporary fixes instead of updating the system. And temporary fixes can't rewrite old code. Procrastination doesn't just delay projects, it slowly erodes your identity. Every time you choose to wait, your nervous system learns, this dream isn't safe. Every time you avoid the task, your mind records, I'm not the kind of man who follows through. Inaction becomes identity, and identity is destiny. The longer you hesitate, the more convincing the illusion becomes that you're someone who just doesn't have what it takes, that discipline is for other men, that you were never meant for more. But you know that's a lie, because you felt the truth, in moments when something moved, when action was a necessity instead of an option. You got a glimpse of the man buried under the programming, the one who wants to build, to lead, to succeed. And then fear pulled you back. If nothing changes, you forfeit destiny. You don't just lose time, you lose access to your own potential. One day you'll wake up surrounded by unfinished ideas, half-built blueprints, unlived versions of your life. A digital graveyard of folders, notes, what-ifs, and regret. And that pain, it compounds, quietly, relentlessly, like interest on a loan you didn't know you were taking out. You won't scream, you won't crash, you'll just settle, slowly. For a man with potential, that's the most tragic end of all. Here's the truth. This was never your fault. You didn't choose the code, you inherited it. But now that you've seen it, it becomes your responsibility to change it. No one's coming to save you. But that's the good news, because it means you're done waiting. You can't delete the past, but you can update the code, and it starts with one decision. Stop negotiating with delay. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a new routine. You need to become someone your old code doesn't recognize. That means action, not in huge leaps, but in small, consistent violations of the rules you were trained to obey. Give yourself permission to start. If the code says, don't start unless it's perfect, start messy. If the code says, don't speak up, share it anyway. If the code says, you're not ready, move anyway. These aren't just habits. These are acts of war against a system that kept you small. Every time you act against the code, you weaken it. Every time you choose progress over comfort, you create proof that you follow through. Proof that the old code is no longer needed. And that's what changes identity, evidence. Not hollow affirmations, not temporary hype. Evidence that you can finish. Evidence that messy isn't identity erasure. Evidence that the ghost in your head whispering to wait is just that, a ghost. So build the evidence, stack it, use it, return to it. Procrastination doesn't survive in environments where movement is normal. That's why the goal isn't speed, it's rhythm. Momentum is a better partner than overthinking. This isn't about hustle culture. This is about precision. About doing the exact thing your old code fired you to avoid, and doing it with purpose. This work builds towards destiny. Every task completed is a funeral for an old version of you. You don't overcome procrastination by fighting yourself. You overcome it by upgrading who you believe you are. That's how you rewrite the story. Not with force, with choice. One small revolt at a time. You don't become a new man. You remember who you were before the code was installed.